All right, we're joined now by a completely random delegate that we just plugged from the crowd without any pre-warning or audition or anything. What's your name? Judd? Is that something like that? Ashley Judd is what I'm told.
You can call me Mrs. Franchitti.
Mrs. Franchitti from the Tennessee delegation today. First of all, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
Of course, superstar Ashley Judd. How did you become a delegate? Tell us how that went down.
They asked. I mean, I've been working with the Democratic Party in Williamson County for a number of years. I just show up and do the things that they ask me to do. I've done some canvassing, voter registration, things like that. And I stay in pretty close touch with the county chair, but I also work so much on the national level with the party, as well as doing my international humanitarian work, that it was just a shock and a delight when they asked me to be a delegate.
So seriously, you are canvassing, so you show up at somebody's door and just say, "Hi, my name's Ashley, I'm a volunteer with OFA"?
Yes, I do.
And what kind of response do you get from people on the other side of the door?
They might want to have a picture taken at some point, but honestly, they want to talk about the issues.
Really?
They want to talk about why I'm involved, where they are with their thinking. And a lot of people, because I've been to North Carolina and Iowa so far, and I will go wherever the president wants me to go, are talking about the impact that the healthcare reform has had on their lives. I mean, people are telling me very personal stories, like a woman in Iowa actually came forward in front of a large crowd at a county Dem office and said, "I'm living proof a woman can conceive when raped." And she was not able to access a termination and had a very late-term miscarriage that was absolutely horrifying and threatened her long-term reproductive health. So when I go canvassing and talk with people, they want to talk about what's real, because this election is real.
So what's your sense of the engagement that people have, not just you, but the people you're talking to out there? Are these Obama supporters before that are somewhat disappointed? I mean, if people were this excited before, how do you get back to that level? Are they close?
My experience is that President Obama's supporters from 2008 are equally electrified and motivated in this election. I think that they have an understanding that when he came to office, it was about triage. It was about stopping the bleeding. The economy was hemorrhaging. And he had to do, the massive stimulus package where 95% of Americans got a tax break in order to just right the ship and prevent a Great Depression. And then he started to get to do the things that, Yes We Can and Hope and Change was all about. And they want 4 more years so that he can continue to manifest the progress that has been made. And part of what is discouraging, as I'm sure you all experience in your position, is the misinformation, the distortion, the obfuscation. I mean, it's just kind of crazy out there. And I find that people really want honesty, they want facts, and they want to know how their lives are going to be affected.
Talk a little bit about Obama, and the healthcare issue. I know we're going to hear about it up on this stage, but we haven't heard that much about it on the campaign trail. The president talks about it a little bit, but you don't see the real strong advertising effort behind it, or a real emphasis on this is something that he did in his first term. Do you think that's a mistake? Do you think there should be more emphasis on this issue during the campaign by Democrats?
I do, and I think that individuals should share their personal narrative, because what comes from the head goes over the head, and what comes from the heart goes straight to the heart. So in Tennessee, for example, 350,000 children cannot be denied health care insurance because of pre-existing condition. That's 350,000 families that have a story to tell. And I think it's 60,000 young people are now covered on their parents' insurance until the age of 26. So they can graduate from vocational school or college and start a career in income generation and not have a health shock destroy their finances.
Do you think people know that? People even in Tennessee know that?
I don't think a lot of people in Tennessee know that. But by the way, this is a huge number. 600,000 Tennesseans accessed free preventative services in 2011. So, what's the deal? That's good stuff.
What is the deal? Yeah.
What's held that up? I mean, why not? Is it that people don't know?
Yeah. I think Tennessee needs to look to Arkansas for a cue.
Why is that?
What's that?
It's the most progressive southern state. They've had a Democratic House and Senate since Reconstruction.
But it's not in danger of voting for Obama anytime soon.
Tennessee or Arkansas?
Either one.
Well, Arkansas, I don't know. Tennessee, probably not. A lot of our volunteers are going to North Carolina. But I'd like to be a part of the narrative. I'd like to share the stories.
Is there something bigger about Obama and the promise that he had at the time? People were expecting, obviously, lots of progress in terms of legislation. They were also expecting, I think, that business would be done differently, that it would be a new day in Washington. They feel like they didn't get that because of the way the health care bill even went down. Was there a missed opportunity there in not just passing legislation, but fundamentally changing the town?
Well, I was at the political parity event earlier today, and they're doing really deep surgical research on why women do and do not run for office. And the primary reason they cite for wanting to run for office is to change the way government functions. And I do think that the president has made some strides. Obviously, he chose not to take money from lobbyists, and there is more reform to be done, without a doubt. I mean, our government needs to be streamlined and reformed, and I don't want to get too out of my depth and pretend that I know a lot about something where I really don't, but he had some challenges with Congress. There's no doubt that he was stymied, and when he said he wanted to put America back to work with some legislation, what the Republicans said is, no, we want to put the president out of work. So he can't do it by himself. I mean, Lilly Ledbetter Act he could sign with the pen, enabling the DREAM Act to the extent that it was, he can do with the pen. But no one person can go into Washington and completely transform it without a lot of collaboration and help.
Well, when you said parity, I thought it was P-A-R-O-D-Y until I realized it was P-A-R-I-T-Y. Okay.
And that's my southern accent. I
No, I would do the same. No. All right, so does this mean maybe you are thinking about elected office at some point?
The gentlelady from Tennessee, what do you think?
Everybody else is thinking about it for me. I am not thinking about it for myself. My desire is to love my God, to make my life an act of worship, and to be of service to my fellows. And right now, I think that I'm in a space that's the best use of me. And, whatever.
Well, here's a bigger question. As a delegate from Tennessee, can you really talk about your love of the Wildcats? I mean, isn't that against everything Tennesseans stand for? I mean, they must.
I had to make sure when I first opened my mouth at the Tennessee delegation breakfast to say, okay, let me just straighten this out. I root for the Volunteers and I root for the Commodores, except when y'all are playing the Wildcats. Can you accept me? And they did.
And they did?
Yes.
So it's okay.
I think I'm cool.
All right.
That sounds like an Obama speech somewhere, like a red America, blue America, everyone comes together if they can accept that. Exactly. Doesn't sound like you're ruling it out, though. Whatever is...
No, I'm not ruling it out, and it would be foolish to say that I am. I honestly don't know that it's the best use of me, but I also don't know the future. And my favorite prayer is Thomas Merton's, which says, "I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know if I'm on the right path, but I do believe the desire to please you, in fact, pleases you," and that's what's important.
So, who gets better tickets to the events? Delegates or Hollywood celebrities, or somewhere in between? What's the best?
I like where the Tennessee delegation is sitting. I'm pretty psyched.
Where are you? Are you guys on the floor?
Yes, we're just over there to the left of the media dais.
Oh,
excellent.
That's pretty good. So, did you have anything to do with that seating arrangement?
No.
No, you weren't able to just make your case?
I am just a lowly delegate at large.
And has anybody come to your delegate events, breakfasts, anything like this that has been interesting, different?
You mean like contrary?
Well, no, I mean usually at these delegate breakfasts they bring in a speaker, they bring in somebody that they want to promote nationally. Has anybody come by and?
I met a woman who is a county commissioner in Michigan, and she was talking about what a lonely walk it is because she doesn't really have any mentors. So I gave her my email address. I don't know how much I can help her from Tennessee, but part of what I'm hearing is the need for strong female-to-female alliances. And the way that we can cultivate our courage and our strength by having strong mentoring relationships. So that's something I'm hearing about. And I got to meet Miss Archuleta today, who I think has like the coolest job in the country, being the president's political director. And then I spoke today after Donna Brazillo, which was cruel because she was sensational.
So maybe you don't run for office, but you would be a White House political director. You think that would be a cool job?
I was thinking about applying to be a White House fellow when I graduated from graduate school. Wouldn't that be a gas?
Oh,
that would be so
cool.
much fun.
Cool. Well, Ashley, Judd, we thank you for joining us here. I know you have to get back to important delegate business.
Yes, get down
on the
there.
floor.
Hot snacks.
Yes.
Gotta go.